Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Graham from the School of Teacher Education at National Taiwan Normal University. Welcome to my office hours. Today's episode is an audio-only episode for no other reason than I simply lack the time and the energy to produce my typical video version. One of the reasons I lack the energy this week is because I've spent the last 3 weeks doing professional development sessions with in-service teachers in 3 cities: New Taipei City, Taoyuan, and Hsinchu. That is in addition, of course, to my courses here at NTNU. As tiring as it is traveling back and forth across northern Taiwan all week, this work is important because here are groups of teachers that, for the most part, genuinely want to give quality bilingual education to their students. And I'm more than happy to serve my part in helping them do that. But these groups of teachers are certainly not the norm. I would guess that the majority of teachers across Taiwan, and even in the schools where these teachers work, well, most are not interested in doing bilingual education. I don't necessarily see this as a problem because I think a certain amount of skepticism toward this policy is healthy. From my point of view, I think there are real questions about whether or not bilingual education is right for public education in Taiwan. But the lack of support from their colleagues seems to bother many of the teachers who joined my training sessions over the last few weeks. And I received this recurring question from across these cities. How can we convince other teachers in our schools to join us in doing bilingual education? I have several suggestions for bilingual teachers and school administrators who are looking to expand their group of bilingual teachers in their school. I think my first suggestion is best illustrated through a story. A few years ago, I went to do an observation in a bilingual junior high school. The teacher did a very good job and provided a strong example of what a bilingual lesson in a public junior high school could be. After the class, we all went to a room to give the teacher feedback. And at the end of that feedback session, a teacher in the back of the room raised her hand. She told everyone that before that day, she had a lot of questions about bilingual education. She wasn't sure what it was. She wasn't sure if it was a good thing for her students. And she wasn't sure she could even do it. But she told everyone in the room, after seeing this example, she had a lot more clarity on these 3 questions. She now felt she knew what bilingual education looked like. She felt that the students in the class she watched benefited from the lesson she saw. And most importantly, she felt like this was something she could do in her own classroom. And she shared with everyone that day that she was going to give bilingual education a try. This story illustrates what I think is probably one of the most powerful ways to convince a teacher about bilingual education. Invite them to watch a good bilingual lesson. Now, by good bilingual lesson, I don't mean one where the teacher performs and uses an excessive amount of English. I mean a truly bilingual lesson, one that's appropriate for public school, where students are engaging with the content area and doing so with 2 or more languages. If a reluctant teacher actually sees bilingual education done well, then they may be more likely to be open to trying it themselves. However, this strategy alone may not fully convince a teacher because many teachers have quite a bit of anxiety about using English and other languages in their classroom. So my recommendation after having them see a good bilingual lesson is to have a conversation with that teacher. Take a little bit of pressure off of them and give them permission to start slowly. What do I mean by start slowly? Tell them it's okay to begin with just simple classroom language, such as starting or ending their class with English. Once they feel comfortable with that, encourage them to try doing a short content-based activity in their lesson using a mix of English and Mandarin. Let them know they don't have to change their whole course to a bilingual one overnight. Tell them to focus on short moments of success with bilingual education and build from there. My next recommendation is to establish a bilingual education professional learning community in your school, or what is commonly referred to as a PLC. The PLC should include those who are currently practicing bilingual education, as well as those who are thinking about it. Let these teachers who are thinking about it participate in the group so that they can gain a better understanding of bilingual education and help them decide if this is really something they would like to do. I think by having these teachers join a PLC, they'll gain a better knowledge of bilingual education and subsequently maybe consider giving it a shot. My final recommendation is encourage these teachers to join a bilingual education training class. As tired as I am from running classes in several cities this month, I believe that the teachers I have worked with have left my part of the program empowered with a greater confidence that they can provide quality bilingual education to the students in their school. And I have no doubt that the teachers who participate in programs run by my colleagues from universities across Taiwan, their teachers are leaving their programs with a similar confidence as well. In closing, while I don't believe we can or we should have every single teacher in Taiwan doing bilingual education, I do think there is room for more teachers to try. So I'd like to encourage you, my listeners, those of you that are current bilingual teachers and administrators, I'd like to encourage you to have a conversation with a colleague. Invite them to your classroom, let them see bilingual education, and have a conversation with them. Share your experiences, share your insights, so that they may consider joining you on your bilingual teaching team in your school. That's all for today's episode of My Office Hours. If you have a question about this episode or would like to chat more about education in Taiwan, send me an email at kmgraham@ntnu.edu.tw. I'll see you next time.